This video is brought to you by these YouTube members. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. Hello everyone, welcome to the Speed Holo Killer tier list. If you are enjoying these, do hit like on the video. It's much appreciated and it helps out a lot, more than you might think. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started with the OG version of Soifon. Now this character doesn't have a lot going for her. She's a Soifon, she got multiple flash steps, and she's got a strong attack recharge link, but her strong attacks don't have the best range because she's an older character. We're just going to put her here and take a little longer to activate. Honestly, she's not that good of a character anymore, so we're just going to leave her there. Next up, we have the Metal Exchange character, Toshiro. And you know what? Let's go ahead and put all the Metal Exchange characters in here just right now, because these characters don't have anything much to contribute right now. Some of them do on their links, but honestly, these characters, they don't get resurrections, they don't get as high stats as everybody else, and neither do the Frenzy characters. Every now and then the Frenzy characters can get good links, and I'll put them in D, but Rukia does not have one of those good links. She has what I thought Toshiro had last week. She has burn reduction and freeze reduction. Toshiro has the strong attack damage and freeze reduction, but either way, they're both in F tier. They're not that good characters, sadly. That's where they'll end up. But let's just get those out of the way. Next up, we have the Valentine's Day version of Rukia. Now this character, unlike the characters in F, can actually be used. Yeah, if you build her correctly, she can actually be used, though it is still going to take a long time because she's not the best character. She does have Frenzy, she does have Bruiser at 30% and a boost move strong attack 2 with a 40% long reach. Honestly, with high enough stats, you can use this character. Her strong attacks range is slightly better than the characters below. I think she has Havoc, which is why, even if she, yeah, you can use her. You just have to build her up. But honestly, surprisingly, you can. It's really good. Anyway, next up we have the Renji, the Academy version of Renji. I really don't like this character. Some of the worst strong attacks in the entire game. His strong attack 1 takes forever to actually activate, and his strong attack 3 is literally just 3 slashes. Not a good character. We're going to leave him down here. Next up we have Karin, who I forgot to put in the Metal Exchange because she is a Metal Exchange character. Whoops, my bad. Next up we have Ashido. Ashido does have some redeeming qualities. Does have Frenzy, decent stats, Beam Shot, Strong Attack 3, decent range on the other two. Not the best, but still, you can actually make a viable character out of them if you really, really need to. So we're going to leave him in C. Next up we have the Parasol version of Nanao, who does have decent links, strong attack recharge, and the stamina recovery. Really good links for if you're wanting to auto with a strong attack recharge character, just because you get some extra health out of that. She also has Frenzy now upon resurrection, which is nice. Her strong attack 2 is a heal move, though it doesn't deal damage because this was before they dealt damage and her resurrection didn't fix that. Her strong attack 1 knocks enemies back. Her strong attack 3 is a lunge move, and her special is a vortex move, which is very, very, very rare. You can still use her if you build her correctly, though she's going to be slower because not as much damage potential as the rest, and also the strong attack 2 doesn't deal damage. Next up we have Tag Team Rangiku, and this character does have 2 killers, which nice. Hollow and a Rankar. She now has Frenzy after being resurrected, which is nice. Her strong attack's range is decent, though not the best. And her normal attack is ranged, but it does not pierce. You can still make her a viable character. The double killer can come in handy depending on what you're doing. But the character is not amazing, so we're going to leave her in C. Next up we have Yachiru. Yachiru was actually a surprise. She has long reach, I think, but she has Frenzy, which is very, very nice. But she also has Bruiser at 40%. And normal attack damage link of 20%, bringing it up to 60 along with that Frenzy. She's a decent character if you decide to build her. Not the best range on strong attacks, but still not terrible. Honestly, I'm going to leave her in C because you can use her if you absolutely need to. Next we have Xayaloporo. Xayaloporo's kind of tricky because Xayaloporo has a really high attack as well as a bruiser at 60% and a normal attack damage link of 25%. So 85% should be really, really good, but the problem is he's a ranged character whose normal attack does not pierce. He does have decent strong attacks, but they don't do that much damage, though a strong attack 2 is a boost move with a heal move, so it's a 2-in-1. Unfortunately, that normal attack really slows him down, though you can still build him in a way to use him if you really, really need to. Plus, his link is really useful because the secondary link is a damage reduction one, and that's really useful for autoing or PvP. Next up, we have Shunsui. Now, I love this Shunsui. He's so fun to use. He's my favorite captain easily in the entire show, and this one is a really fun one to use. He's got Havoc at 20, strong attack damage link of 20%, Frenzy, and Bruiser at 30%. Unfortunately, this was back when they were giving strong attacking characters, if they have a strong attack damage link, they weren't giving them a strong attack recharge ability because they either had one or the other. So sadly, he's a bit slower in terms of his attacks, just because he can't spam them as much as some of the others. His strong attack 2 can deal a ton of damage at close range, but only at close range. That said, with the Havoc at 20, it does kind of improve the range a little bit, and he has potential for a colossal amount of damage, but they do have to be frozen, paralyzed, or pinned up against the wall to get the most out of it, which he cannot paralyze or freeze. I'm going to put him under B. He's still a really, really good character. His Havoc definitely helps him out, and his special has a chance to instant kill, but it's just one of those things that we have to wait till he gets resurrected. Right now, B is probably as far as I can put him, so he's still really, really good. Next up, we have Ishin. Ishin, like Szayeloporo, has a really high attack, really high bruiser with 50% and 25% nattling. He is slightly faster than Szayeloporo because he's not a ranged character, he's a melee character, so he doesn't have to worry about piercing normal attacks. But that said, that's as far as he gets because he is a good character, but you just have to increase his attack by a lot. Next up, we have the past version of Lisa. I love this Lisa. Lisa's my favorite advisor, and this is my favorite version of her. She has a Beam Shot Strong Attack 1, a Crawling Vortex Move Strong Attack 2, and a slightly beyond full screen Strong Attack 3 because she has Havoc, which helps out the other two Strong Attacks. Her Strong Attack 1 and her normal attack have a chance to inflict debilitating paralysis, and she was one of the last characters to come out, one of the last range characters to come out whose normal attack does not pierce, which is a bummer, but she's not a normal attacking character, so it's not that big of a deal. Still, really, really good character. We're going to put her in B. Next up, we have Yoroichi. Now, this one's a tricky one, because like Shunsui, she doesn't have a strong attack recharge link, and she didn't get anything like that when she got resurrected. She got a normal attack damage link. That said, she did get Berserker at 20%, and she already has a strong attack damage link of 20%, bringing it up to 40 before Frenzy. Her strong attack 3 and her special can inflict debilitating paralysis, and she's a Yoroichi, so she's got multiple flash steps, making her faster, and she can avoid enemy specials a lot easier. She's also got a Beam Shot Strong Attack 1, a Lunge Move Strong Attack 2, and a Full Screen Strong Attack 3. I'm going to put her in A, but it's one of those situations that she's kind of barely in A, but still really, really good character. Love her, love her strong attack as well. Next we have Omaida. Omaida is Omaida. There's not much more we can say about this character. He's a boosted move, strong attack 2. He's got frenzy, he's got a full screen strong attack 3, but honestly, it's one of those situations where he'll be in B, but he just barely made it in B, just because he's not that good of a character, though if you really wanted to use him, you probably can without issue. He's just kind of bleh. He's mostly a link anyway. He's got a 17% crystal drop link. Next up, we have the 1000 Year Blood War version of Yoroichi, who, like Shunsui, got a similar treatment in that also got a strong attack damage link, but cannot spam her strong attacks as often as he does. That said, she does have debilitating paralysis on everything, and when she uses her special, all of her strong attacks come back, and they get a 30% damage increase, which she can then use immediately, and then when it runs out, she gets all of her strong attacks back again, and she's a Yoroichi multiple flash steps. I am going to put her in A, but it's one of those things where she's kind of a lower A, similar to the other Yoroichi. Next up, we have Sajin. Sajin, I love this character a lot. This character is so much fun to use. Debilitating paralysis on all of his attacks. Strong attack 2 is a hybrid vortex move. His normal attack only has 3 attacks, not 4 like the usual, but he is a strong attacking character, so it doesn't really matter. Does have frenzy. Does not have a strong attack recharge or strong attack damage, but as a link, but does have last ditch survival, making him a useful link himself, or just a character that revives if you use him. You can't spam his strong attacks as fast as the others, but he is still a really good character, so we're going to put him in B. There we go. Okay, next up we have Renji, and the list looks fine now. Nice. Next up we have Renji. Does have decent moves, decent range on his strong attacks. Nothing particularly special. He is immune to both being frozen and paralyzed, which means he can't really be stopped, which is really, really nice for autoing if you decide to auto with this character. He does have a high SP, he does have Frenzy, but not much more after that. We're going to put him in B as well. He's a solid character, though. Alright, next up we have Yama. Yama has some really good strong attacks. He's got a Beam Shot Strong Attack 1. His Strong Attack 2 is, like, it blasts enemies in front of him. It's really, really good. And his Strong Attack 3 is full screen. He can also inflict debilitating burn on all of his attacks. And he's immune to 2 status elements. He's also got a special that leaves him with a Vortex move that burns enemy. It's really good. And honestly, because of his kit, I'm going to put him under A. But like the others, he's going to be a lower A. just because he doesn't have increased damage on his strong attacks. He's just a frenzy, but the kit is really, really good, which is why I'm putting him in A. Next up, we have Hachi. Hachi, again, does have a really high ASP. He has frenzy, he has a barrier for his strong attack 2. All of his attacks, except for that strong attack 2, can inflict debilitating paralysis. He's got a beam shot, strong attack 1. He's a really good character, but a bit slow because he's got that barrier move. He's more of a support character because of that, but he is still a really good character, so I'm going to put him in B. Ooh, okay, sorry, I've recorded like 2 of these, and each one I did twice, so I've been speaking a lot today. Next up, we have Nell. I love this Nell. This Nell is so good. She's got a really high SP. She's got Frenzy, Beam Shot, Strong Attack 1, Hybrid Vortex move, Strong Attack 2, Full Screen, Strong Attack 3. All of them can inflict debilitating freeze. She's got Havoc. No, she doesn't have Havoc. She has Berserker at 20% and Frenzy. She's just a really good character. I'm going to put her over here, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's immune to being frozen. But I'll double check that just in case. Yeah, she's immune to being frozen. So she's honestly just a really good character, and she's got a boosted strong attack recharge link. So we're gonna leave her there. Next up, we have the Machine Society version of Ukiora. So good. This character can inflict debilitating weakening on all of his attacks. He's got really good range on his strong attacks despite not having Havoc. And he's got Guard Break, which is just amazing. Honestly, he's one of the better A characters. I'm going to put him in A. I don't think he's good enough to just make it to S, though he's close because of that Guard Break. But he's just a really good character, you guys. He's so good. He's definitely higher A. So yeah, we're just going to leave him there. Also, if you don't know, I put these characters in the list that they are based on how I get them from the BBS simulator. They're not like in any particular order. It's just the order in which I get them. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Next we have Byakuya. I love this character. Byakuya changed the game. He's got Sharpshooter. He's got a Vortex move, Strong Attack 2. That's a Seeking Vortex move. He's got Berserker and Bruiser at 40% and Frenzy and Bombardment. His Strong Attack 2 does not let enemies do anything. It's really, really good. He's got Havoc at 20. Frenzy, he's just 2 killers as well. He's just so good. And he's definitely going to end up in S because he's just one of the best speed characters in the entire game. He's so good. Next up, we have the I don't remember. I think it's the Fierce Battle version of Hikaku. But this guy's also really, really good. Underlooked for sure just because he wasn't really he's just a premium character, so people kind of glossed over him, but he's actually really good. He's got Bruiser at 40%, Flurry, Poise, Last Ditch Survival as an ability. He's immune to being weakened. He's got Damage Reduction as a soul trait. And he's got a Boost Move Strong Attack 2 that increases his attack. That's before the Bruiser at 40 and Flurry. He's honestly a very, very good character. An amazing Autoer. We're going to put him in A for sure. He's just an awesome character. Next up, we have the 1000-Year Blood War version of Ishin. This guy probably has one of the best kits in the whole game. He's got a really high SP, as well as Frenzy, Berserker at 20%, and an ability that increases the amount of damage speed captains deal with their strong attacks by 20%, so bringing it up to 40% before Frenzy, which is really, really good. He can inflict debilitating burn on all of his attacks. Havoc at 20, Beam Shot, Strong Attack 1, Near Full Screen, Strong Attack 2, Beyond Full Screen, Strong Attack 3. Honestly, he's just an amazing character. I'm going to put him in S for sure. Plus, he has the ability to read hollow dodges, which can come in handy in Sankaimon and amongst other places. And he's immune to being poisoned, which is really, really nice. Next, we have Charlotte Schulthorn. I hope I'm saying that correctly. There's some of the Ironcars, I have no problem with their names. Some of them I do, just because I rarely hear them. Either way, really high SP, Frenzy, Berserker at 20%. Strong Attack 2 does not inflict the status element like the other strong attacks, which is weakening. It does inflict the opposite of a boost move. I forget what the name is. Let's see here. Diminisher. It's a diminishing move. It diminishes the enemy's attack stats. All of his attacks can inflict debilitating weakening except for this. And his special can inflict weakened defense, making it a really good special. I don't think he's S tier, but it's definitely tempting to put him in A, just because he's still really, really, really good. But I don't think it's Byakuya levels of good. But with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring out the other tier. Now, if you don't know, I brought this up last in the last video, in the last tier list. I actually do have another tier to this, but I don't want to bring it out until I actually use it, just because not every character can make it here, and it's the best character ever tier. And we're starting with Jushiro. Now, Jushiro is phenomenal. Really high attack, as well as a boost move strong attack 2 that increases the attack even further. He's also got Bruiser at 40%, an ability that increases speed attribute captain's normal attack damage by 20%. So that brings it up to 60%, and he's got a normal attack damage link of 20%, bringing it up to 80% before Flurry. And like I said, he's a boost move character. He's also got a barrier move on that boost move, and he's got multi-barrier at 2, making it 5 barriers instead of 3, and 3 for everybody else. He's also got Guard Break, letting him rip through enemies, and all of these attacks have a chance to inflict debilitating Drain, which is very, very likely with his normal attack since it hits 4 times per attack, 16 times per normal attack string, which is ridiculous, and it heals him for like 20% or 25% of his total health anytime he inflicts it, which is just insane. He's also got Poise, and he's got Freeze resistance, which is good because he's got a Hollow Killer, which Hollows love to freeze. He's honestly just an amazing character, and I'm going to put him under the best character ever tier, which is not a tier I'm going to use often. It's very, very rare when I use this tier, but they are very good characters who deserve it. And finally, we have the Ichigo, the Spirit Society version of Ichigo. If this guy takes my breath away in the literal sense, in that I'm about to speak a whole lot about him, and I'm going to be really tired. So here we go. Okay, he's got a really, really high SP, as well as strong attack recharge link, Frenzy at 2, an ability that increases damage dealt at status element enemies by 20%, which is tripled because of that Frenzy being at 2, so it's 20% 3 times. He's also very likely to inflict a status element on Hollows, which is a Hollow list, so it's awesome. On Power Attribute Hollows by 10%, so it's very, very likely. All of his attacks have a chance to inflict debilitating, weakening, and burn, and he's very likely to do so because they hit a ridiculous number of times with his Shape Shot Strong Attack 1 that hits 21 times per enemy, his Hybrid Vortex moves Strong Attack 2, which hits like 42 times per enemy, and his Strong Attack 3, which hits 12 times per enemy, but it's beyond full screen thanks to him having Havoc, which affects all of these attacks. He's also got Sharpshooter, so that's Guard Break and Nullify range resistance in one, making him just viable in a lot of areas. He's also a perfect option for the full stamina damage ability. Even though he doesn't have it, he does have stamina recovery, which increases his health by 20%, or heals him for 20% anytime he enters a new area. He's also completely immune to being frozen, and he has a 50% chance of completely dodging hollow attacks. Okay, that's a lot. But yeah, easily best character ever tier. I actually had to read that from the page because there's no way I can remember all of that. It's a lot to remember. But man, just so good. But with that said, thank you guys for watching. This is my second time recording this because I thought I could do it faster the second time. But I don't know because I went on for a long time anyway. But with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are enjoying these videos, hit like. I appreciate it greatly. But with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy your day. Take care.